Mr. Ahmad Ali, Mr. Abraham Zakaria, and friends. I'm seeing Secretary General who spoke in the morning and other dignitaries who have already discussed on various issues. Indeed, it's a great thing for learning, as we believe learning is eternal. We have to go on learning, and only after learning we have to give judgment. That is what I believe and I follow. So that's the way with which I'll like to start the things, and only with two observations. Of course, my friend has given lot of the challenges, what are the things and all. I'll come for that. Quickly I will run through the general things. I'll just jump on. Only quickly, what are the important issues, we will do it. In fact, first page if we go, instead of ease of doing business, as Madam Saraswati was telling in the morning, even I also, when I presented this for the Global Investors Meet, I made a presentation on this. Instead of that, we just called it as simplification, initiatives and reforms. See, basically there are two issues. Before going to that, I'll take just 2 minutes. India is a rich country inhabited by poor people. Everybody is aware about it. So we have to keep that in mind before going to any of the other aspects on which we are going to discuss. That is one of the basic fundamental things. We have to keep it in our mind. And then further, there are two issues. Everybody is talking of labor law, lot of things have to happen. Yes, totally I agree. It was pre-independent, some of the acts, and some of the acts are immediately after the independence. That can be divided into two aspects. One is labor law reforms, the another one is simplification of labor administration. As regards morning, there was a lot of discussions, it was going on. Who has to do, who has to build the cat? In fact, simplification of labor administration, you need not have any worry. All officers and the officials, if they mind, they can do it. As regards the labor law reforms, it needs the legislature and the tripartite agreement and all. It has to go with a process. That is the one thing which will have to be viewed in that perspective. Then we will be in a position to sort out the issues. Of course, I will not go through the implementation of labor laws and all. And of course, the another biggest challenge what we are facing is today the startups, and everybody discusses with the startup and continuing and all. It's one aspect is the skill development and another one is entrepreneurship development. In fact, somewhere in our education and mechanism, the entrepreneurship development is totally missing. No school, no college in the country teaches about the entrepreneurship, whether it is intrapreneurship or the entrepreneurship. Just the people who are to, like how it is in the women entrepreneurship, it is entrepreneurship by accident. If husband dies or if father dies, automatically the woman from house, she comes and occupies the seat and she becomes a wonderful entrepreneur. And then it is also by training, but entrepreneurship has to develop as a blossomed entrepreneurship. Unless the entrepreneurship is blossomed, to face the challenges for everybody, whether it is an entrepreneur or anybody for that matter as a human being, it's not a struggle, it is a challenges. So that challenges we have to overcome with that. And further, in fact, the 18th century is the century of invention and innovation, 19th century is the century of growth, 20th century is the century of development with licenses and with anxiety, 21st century is the century of conflict and mistrust. This is, if anybody do not agree, of course at the time of discussion we can discuss. It is the 21st century is totally century of conflict and mistrust. With whom and what and all, it's now we will run through. And friends, while we go through, the world economy is, in fact, the world economy is divided into 4 aspects. These are the only 4 economic activities with which the world economy runs. That is the manufacturing sector. We were discussing we are very much concerned about the manufacturing sector. The second one is research. In research sector, even today in India, nothing much has happened except here and there in the IT and IT sector. Otherwise, nothing much has happened. And then marketing. Marketing, if you go through Singapore or anything, they don't manufacture, they don't have any resources, but they import and export, and they make almost about 38% of the GDP comes from only this import-export business only. That's the marketing sector. That also, there's a lot of potential even in the country, in the global situation. That also has to be encashed. And at the same time, next one is networking. Networking, basically, the logistics networking is not at all started happening in the country. That logistics networking, if it do not happen, the profitability and the compliance and all the things always will be a challenge for everybody. That logistics networking has to happen, then only we will be in a position to go through. Of course, the classification of labor laws, laws on industrial relations, laws on social security, laws on wages, laws on working conditions. I think I can skip this because it need not be discussed, everybody is aware. This is only what are the acts which have to be, of course, as a multiplicity of acts. This is the very, very important thing. The services provided online includes totally investor-friendly approach, licenses, registration, renewal of certificates, and already we have made this online Shops and Commercial Establishment Act. This is almost about 5 lakh shops and commercial establishments have been registered in the state of Karnataka. Nobody needs to approach. Here and there may be complaints or something, but otherwise all these 5 lakhs online application, license will be issued, registration, renewal and the certification throughout the state it is made as online. And even the Factories Act, Boiler Act, Factory License, Boiler License, approval of the plan, contract labor, registration of the employer and registration of the contractor, that also it is, and the Interstate Migrant Workers, BD and Cigar Act, these are the things. And further, the department has simplified initiatives and simplified the procedure of maintenance of registers and filing of annual returns under various acts as follows. In fact, it was being mentioned that it has to be online, as so many forms have to be given. For all these acts, only there is one form, Form T, Form U, and Form 20 and 22 as regards the Factories Act and Boilers Act. This already we have implemented. So, need not have all about 6 or 8 forms. In one form, all the things can be covered up. Next, please. Then the simplification initiative under the IT and ITES allowed with flexi timings, employment of women during night shifts with approval, exemption from the provisions of Standing Orders Act. This has been extended in the state of Karnataka. That is, this ITES means your knowledge process of business, legal process of business, financial process of business. All these have been covered under the ITES. And coming to the next aspect is special exemption for factories, employment of women during night shifts with approval. Even now also it is being given. Only thing is, now they have to apply and get the approval. Then they can extend their stay in the night. That is what is at present. Overtime hours to cater to additional demands and exigencies of work. Even now also it is being extended. But however, it's not automatic. It is only based on the application and further assessment it is being done. Next please. See, this is e-Karmika striving for excellence. We have already under the Shops and Commercial Establishments Act amendment are being rendered online throughout the state. Even annual return under this act filed, owners of shops and commercial establishments, the prescribed fee can be remitted by the NEFT or RTGS facility. This facility can be accessed through the ekarmika.com. This is what has been established, and like in that Factories Act, it is an e-Surakshate. This is also with the e-Surakshate, Factories Act, Boiler Act registration and all this, again with the NEFT gateway and RTGS facility, it is being extended. Next please. This is the another very wonderful services. It is being extended by the department. 13 plus 9 services of the department are brought under Sakala scheme by prescribing time limit for each service. Registration and the renewal, license, renewal, registration of different acts. And this all services under the Factories Act and the Boilers Act. This will be between 30 and 60 days is the time frame fixed. If that service is not being rendered within the 30 days, it's 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, only 1 or 2, 60 days also is there. Within this period that has to be done. Otherwise, it will be monitored at a different level. That is what exactly happened. Next please. Formation of new website. In fact, the morning also it was discussed and it's nothing great is going to happen. My friend Mr. Jyoti Kumar was mentioning it. I totally disagree with him. Every day great things are happening. Either you are doing great things or we are doing great things. Otherwise country would not have developed. What was in 1947? Are we still standing in 1947? We are in 2016. Have we not achieved? We have achieved so much. Let us be optimistic. It doesn't mean that we are doing everything a great human service. Unless we are optimistic, the things will never happen. Things will never move. Let us accept with that. It is only two hands will join for a clapping, and then two wheels are required for any vehicle to move. So I strongly believe in that. Nothing great can happen. Great can happen at the same time with lot of obstacles or challenges. How to overcome that obstacles and challenges? Again, it is within the human being. We are all Indians, not from the Timbuktu country or other country. We are sitting and doing and the service, rendering the service. It has to be resolved in that way, that fashion. And we remember this Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, industrialize or perish. Vishweshwarya said, modernize or perish is the mantra. Globalize or perish. Now it is change or perish. Whether it is the industry side or the government side, unless the government also changes according to the needs of the global needs, definitely it will not render anything, no enhancement of the GSDP, it will only a growth. As Amartya Sen said, growth we are looking at the GDP. What is the development? Development per se, whether it is 2 square meals or anything, that has to be very well, it has to be understood only in that direction. If we look at it, we will be in a position to contribute to the economy of the nation along with the people of the nation. Then next, if we come to this special economic zones, of course, whatever the powers delegated with the Labour Commissioner, that has been delegated to the Development Commissioner in about 9 acts, another 9 acts also, we are extending it to them and we are going in for that. That is, again, that is one of the issues. And next, please. Then Workers Facilitation Center, this is another thing. This is only, I'll take another 1 or 2 minutes on this. See, the Workers Facilitation Center, we are talking only of the organized workers. We are not talking of the unorganized workers. In the entire country, if we take about 7% is the organized workers and 93% is the unorganized workers. As regards the unorganized workers, the social security is not being provided. However, keeping is that the pilot project has been in the entire country in Karnataka. We have started the single window agency, that is the service center, that is the Workers Facilitation Center in about 1,178 Gram Panchayats and the 22 municipal wards. We have started these centers. The PDOs and other officials will be working on behalf of about 5-6 departments. About 15 schemes are being implemented. In the last 2 months we have started, and they will go to the place of the unorganized worker and motivate the family and give the application, make him to apply, the family to give application, and then take that application to the different departments and get it sanctioned. That means the hand holding or whatever it is. In the last 2 months, about 22,000 applications we have received, almost 15,000 people have been benefited with sanctions. This is what is the Workers Facilitation Center we have started. Now other states and even the abroad also they are interested in this, and Germany and other people have also come and have seen this project. Next please. The skill development, this is another thing I was talking about, the skill development, the demographic dividend. All of us are talking about the demographic dividend, but what exactly the demographic dividend, how it is going to be encashed. Almost about 40 crores of the people will have to be trained in the next 7 years or 10 years. That is the estimated thing what we are looking at it. But the skill development, unfortunately, the parents like you and me are also responsible. None of us wants our children to go to ITI and Polytechnic, because you may agree or you may not agree. Everybody wants our children to go to the engineering college or a medical college or a dental college or any other course. This is what exactly the mindset. Unless this mindset, in Germany, 70 to 85% of the children, along with their curriculum education, this skill imparting is going to happen. Unless we have that type of thing, the skill and the entrepreneurship education, if we don't cultivate the entrepreneurial qualities and facing the business challenges, will be definitely a challenge. It remains. Then we have launched so many other programs. Of course, it is not related in today's topic. Next, please. The Yuva Yuga. These are some of the different things what we have done. We have entered into MOUs with the big industries like Maruti and other things, Myco Bosch and all. And with them, the ITI people, students have been trained in along with them the special training and other things. Next, please. The way forward. What exactly we are doing is, this is one of the wonderful schemes. In fact, I was discussing, this is the self-certification scheme for exemption of inspections. See, basically everybody says government means it is a Inspector Raj. In fact, Mr. Ahmad Ali remembers last time we were discussing in BCIC also, it's not the Inspector Raj, it's Inspector Raj versus Capital Raj. So what is the solution for that? The laborers say it is a capital Raj, you harass and exploit the workers. See, the story started with the 16th, when the Industrial Revolution, from Industrial Revolution to the First World War to the Second World War, then it came here, a lot of other things. So whether it is a Inspector Raj or Capital Raj, whatever it is, both need not to be there. Today we need welfare Raj and the investment friendly Raj. This is what exactly we have to look at in that perspective. In this scheme, it has been a new scheme and we have already started this scheme. Gazette notification has already been made and we have called for the objections. Objections also, some of the objections have come. In a couple of months, probably the last week of this month or the next week of, first week of the next month, we are going to have one workshop and this is going to be implemented. Under this scheme, it is open for a period of 5 years. Establishments, whosoever, in Maharashtra already this scheme is there, and I was also told that in Maharashtra none of them have opted. Very hardly about 10-15 people have opted for the self-certification scheme because of various factors. And here in our state, we are having a very friendly approach. The fee structure we have also with the software and it is online, that is less than 100 workers, 100-500 rupees fee, and the greater that is the 10,000 is the registration fee and 25,000 is the security deposit. Between 100 and 500 workers, 15,000 registration, 50,000 is the security deposit, and 500 is the greater than workers, 25,000 is the registration fee, and 1 lakh is the security deposit. And this will be over a period of 5 years. Whosoever certifies and gives an undertaking self-certification, and in the 17 acts, the inspectors will not come for the factory for inspection. See, you talk of corruption and all. Whatever, wherever, whatever, if it is talked, and only you can curb or control with a system. Without a system, you tell anything, and we have to refer to the Akbar Birbal story, and there are so many things. Let us not go back into that. So, in that connection, this is what is, if we bring in the system, so only thing is after after certifying, these are the acts covered for self-certification. After this, if at the random inspection, it is about 30% of the unit needs to be inspected in 1 year. Suppose if he is having 1 lakh units, every now and then they will be going and harassing 30%, and that is also totally, it is, of course, next slide I will come. This inspection, and in case if anybody is violating this, the only thing is the deposit, security deposit, whatever has been deposited, it will be forfeited. That's the system with which we are working. And probably in the next, and in fact this may also appear in our budget, Karnataka state budget in 16-17, we are going to implement it. If it is implemented, it will be a very good boon for the industrialists and entrepreneurs. Next please. And then we have entrusted the work for this software development for online services under the other 7 acts, Contract Labour Regulation and Abolition Act. This is another act wherein lot of discussions are going on. This we are trying to do it, and trade union, other 7 acts we have already given, and the Karnataka Labour Institute we have started. Some other states are already having, and in fact we wanted to convert this Labour Institute not only for the organized workers, it is both for organized and unorganized workers, and we want to use this as a research institute, because the research institute in the labour field itself, research is very negligible. I am very happy this British High Commission and CPPR and other agencies taken, and it is nothing but a research-oriented discussion as a conclave. It will be a very good thing because lot of scope and potential is there for the research. That research has to happen, and this Karnataka Labour Institute, we are intending to use that. And as Research and Training Institute department has taken initiative for employee empowerment to provide already in our department. I am working since about 1 year, 10 months, and these are all the things what we have introduced in the department. And this and the unorganized front also, we did what is the coverage, construction workers and all. It's another story, of course, not related with this. Next, please. Amendments proposed for Factories Act and rules. Exempt non-hazardous small industries from Factories Act. This is what we are proposing it. And of course, these things have to go before the statute, that is legislature and other things. This as a simplification of labor administration, we cannot do it ourselves. This needs the approval of the houses. That is what we are proposing. Increasing the daily working hours to promote 5 days week, allowing women workers to employ in night shifts with certain conditions. Now it is there, but only on specific applications approval we are allowing. Now it is to be made as a common. Just keep us informed, and then with certain conditions that will be extended. Enhance the exemption on OT hours, limitations to carry out urgent demands and orders. That limitation to be removed, and it has to be bifurcated and given. Clarification on canteen facility, OT payment and leave with wages to avoid disputes. There are so many disputes which are not called for. That is going to be defined. provision for quasi-judicial powers for quick disposal of the grievances. Some of the grievances, it has to go to the court of law. If it goes to the court of law, sometimes it will take 5 years or 10 years. It will be difficult both for the employer as well as the employees. So such quasi-judicial power, we are planning to give it to the factories department. However, the labor department is already having that quasi-judicial power in different acts implementation. This is what is being proposed. Renewal of factory license up to 10 years. See, this is what is how the system can help. Now, every year, Shops and Commercial Establishment Act, every year the renewal has to happen. Now we have made it for 5 years. And the Factories Act, instead of 1 year, 3 years, now we are going to make it for 10 years. Once you apply, take the factory license and keep it for 10 years. Unless if there is any incident or a complaint, of course on complaint and other things, and the inspection will be made. Another thing is, the next please, the inspection also, we have had the Factories Department, Labor Department and the other departments joint inspection also it is being proposed for implementation of different, of course, the boards, different boards we are having. Only just 1 second, we are having extending the building and other construction workers. In fact, about 2 years back, 2.5 lakh workers have been registered. Now we are having 10 lakh workers have been registered and the facilities have been extended to them. Unorganized Workers Social Security Board, Labor Welfare Board and Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, it's the health insurance. It was about 64.5 lakh beneficiary families, almost 2 lakh people, 2 crore people have been covered in the state of Karnataka. Next please. See, this is what in fact with all we were able to do it, all the department officers, technology supporters, the Infotech with whom the TCS Limited, Zoom In Software and the India Business Online with whom this software has been developed and we are trying to implement and already implemented. Next please. In fact, this is only striving towards excellence. Employees stay when they are, this is, it applies to both the government and the other also. And in government also we have to get the work extracted and we have to deliver with the same employees of the same place. And in private also you have to get the work delivered and you have to get the work done with the same employees and the same people. So the challenges are both for the government as well as the non-government is one and the same. So that challenges how you are capable to handle it. It is again, it is individual genius you have to use and see that your workers may be motivated or whatever it is, whether it's a carrot stick, it is up to the individual leader who has to decide on that and it has to be extended and delivered. Next please. And see what it was, and this is what exactly I am looking at it. We were in the tortoise speed we were going and only with rocket, whatever you do it, the tortoise should be replaced with the rocket and this should be the total transparency. Only unless we do these things, there cannot be of anything. This is what we are looking at, the simplification and other things. This is in very, very nutshell. Just a small thing, my friend has raised some of the challenges. I'll take another 2 minutes. So that see land records, of course, here afterwards it has been shown. Land records manually maintained. In Karnataka, we have totally digitized the land records and except that the maps, other things have been digitized. Even maps also it has already been given. Only thing is it is taking some time because of various factors. However, the agency, that is the nodal agency for the industrial land allotment, Karnataka Industrial Area Development Board, they are already having the maps and the identification, the location of the land in the total industrial area, it can be looked into. And then the another thing is multiple department lack of coordination. I totally agree with you. It is there and everybody feels I am great. It is happening. It's not the question of ego. It is only a question of coordination and cooperation with other human beings and the individuals. Unless that is started out, it cannot be, and it will have to be started out and it will take time. It is a process. And then lack of updating land records. This is not there in the state of Karnataka. We are doing it. The others can also do it. Registration and mutation. For this act, in fact, the amendment has been brought and now the deemed conversion, section 109 has been already been amended in the state of Karnataka. That is for the industrial purposes. If the land is taken, it need not go for the different applications and all, whether it is the state level single window agency or the district level. There are about 3 single window agencies which have been formed very recently. Of course, earlier also it was there. Once it is cleared, automatically the documents, application with a project report and the extent of land required and the applicant details, it will go to the concerned deputy commissioner, and deputy commissioner has been identified as the nodal head for clearance of these things. And only thing is in this land, whatever the land, about we have made it very clear in the government order itself we have issued, you please purchase under land reform section 109, if you are at all, if you are purchasing the land, please see that there are about 3 or 4 very, very cautious factors. The land should not be SC, ST, PTCL land holdings. That is prohibition of transaction of certain lands belongs to SC, ST people. That cannot be transferred and that is not going to happen. And if it is under the Karnataka state land grant rules, if the land has been granted to the people under the land grant rules, under the conditions of the land grant rules, it should not be sold and then it will not be accepted. And please see that it should not be a forest land. Lot of people, they have purchased the forest land. Even the government agencies are facing this crisis. That has been identified as a forest land. It will go to the government of India with various factors. By that time 10 years and definitely it will be a very, very this thing. You please, before purchasing the land, these are some of the precautions. And then another thing is Karab land also, which has to be looked into, whether it is the A Karab or B Karab. This is the one thing, if it is taken care, automatically this will be done. And my friend was telling the mutation of the ROR, it is 35 days time has been fixed to the Deputy Commissioner and the order has been issued. Within 35 days, the mutation has to happen after the registration. This is the order of the government of Karnataka which has been issued. If it has not happened, then automatically there are different steps which has to be taken up. This has already been issued. And the another thing is the upfront payment of land cost. Of course, about this I may not be in a position to comment anything. What we are having 17% of population and 2.62% of the geographical area, we have to have, there is a lot of demand for the land. Unless you recoup the land price, you cannot allot it to the next people who are in the queue. So we have to adjust with that, or we have to find out a different way how it can be sorted out. But that is, there is no other avenue for that, because that periodical lease rent which has been tried in the state of Karnataka by different agencies, it has been an utter failure. So it has not been following it up, and now it is only upfront. However, 99 years lease, that is another contention. Of course, Mr. Ahmad Ali and others will take up at the highest level that, because it does not fall under the Labour Department category. So I am not touching on that particular issue. Of course, lack of clear mapping, I agree, it is being done. And the multiplicity of labour laws, it started, we have already addressed and we are addressing it. Working hours of a woman, we have already adjusted, and harassment of inspection. For this only, we have made the digitized inspection. Only the software, if you put, the software will give a printout. Only according to that printout he has to inspect, and the public interface he has to send the notice, and the public interface he has to get the replace and the information from the entrepreneur, and the public interface he has to accept or reject, and public interface he has to recommend for the prosecution. This is what, otherwise what has to happen in one file and in one sheet. Now on the computer sheet, anybody can look into it. That is the transparency we have already brought in. The portal has already been launched, and the website has been modernized website already devised. And in fact, there is also what are the acts an employer has to follow, and what are the precautions and the important provisions of the act he has to look into it. That perspective already it is there in our website, and this is what exactly, this is in very, very nutshell. Of course, the labor is such a huge subject. If we go on discussing, there are so many things to be discussed and interacted. Of course, my colleagues are also there. Let me not take much of your time. And the only thing is, of course, the 7 days, the deemed conversion also under section 95 KLR Act, within 7 days, along with the quantum of conversion fine, it has to be published. Earlier, there was no deemed conversion. They have to apply different application than 79A, 79B and 95. There are so many acts and rules which has to be verified and NOC to be obtained. Now it has been given as a deemed conversion. Of course, now also the NOC, now the Deputy Commissioner has been made as responsible officer. Earlier, which was there as an Assistant Commissioner and Tahsildar, even though finally file used to come to the Deputy Commissioner. That is what is the thing. Of course, the other things, Rajasthan amendment rules of 3 years, 100 workers, 25M and 25N retrenchment and 25O of closure. This we are looking at the Government of India, because it's a labour law reforms. It's not a simplification of administration. And we have also, already we are having discussions, and we have also attended the tripartite meeting at the Delhi, and we have also given our opinion. That is also another thing. And the contract labour also, that is the whatever it is from 10 workers to 20 workers and 40 workers, and at the same time 3 years already he has discussed. These are some of the issues which already we are also taken into cognizance, and we will do it. Thank you very much. Thank you.